and really excited to keep working with them. So that is awesome news. For anybody who has not seen Swipelux already, Swipelux, if you are a EU or Asia user, odds are they do support you. They are also running their zero fee campaign right now. And then we will follow that on with a second one in Singularity. So very excited to keep building that out. It's all part of the journey to have easier onboarding and frictionless experiences. I'm also going to stop saying the word exciting. But anything anybody wants to add to that before we move to the next topic?
I'm excited.
Stoked. I think stoked was my word to avoid excited last time. But aside from that, on the update side of things, I think that about does it, unless I just blanked on something, which I feel like I just forgot something. Am I forgetting an update, y'all? No, good deal. All right. So the other thing is obviously on Tuesday, the 22nd, it will be DeFi Kingdom's second birthday. 2 years since launch, which is absolutely incredible. We're very much looking forward to celebrating that anniversary. We do have a few things planned. For the most part, we are not going to spoil those, but we will mention that there will be a leveling event going on for the birthday. There will be more details coming for that with an announcement, with a start date, all of that. So stay tuned for more information on that. Fox, anything you want to say?
You know it. Yeah. I was on a call this morning with some, well, actually, I can't say, but I was just kind of talking about how it's been almost 2 years since we launched, and it's crazy to sort of look back and see all the things that have been done since then. There's just been a ton of work on our part, but also the community has built so much around it as well. There's been so many. I don't even know how many hours and hours and hours of like YouTube content and all of the tools that have been built, all the hours poured into this. It's just such an amazing thing to see everybody kind of having the same excitement about this cool experiment and this idea that we're doing. So really stoked to be here, stoked to be building, and happy to have met all of you here and everyone. And just want to say thanks to everyone. Thank you.
Most definitely. Anybody else want to add any thoughts on the birthday front?
Feels like it's been 5 years.
At minimum. But yeah, no, it's super cool to have that anniversary coming up. Stay tuned for more details on what we will be doing for it. But we've got some big plans that we're not going to share. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive into some questions. So, first question. Recent public comments indicate a dev and marketing push in the next 1 to 3 months. Will any of these updates include PvP or PvE access? It's a good question. We have many things planned for the next 1 to 3 months, and some of them are announced. Like, obviously, right now we're working on onboarding initiatives. Expeditions is another big thing that we're going to be working on. But we also have some stuff that is not announced, and for right now, we're going to keep it that way. So expect a lot of things to come, but some of them will be surprises. Let's see. So next question is a Beetle Dude question / possible task, as they always are. On the gardening questing menu, thoughts on having it reordered so that instead of it being pools with LP in them first, it is pools without heroes yet assigned in them.
Yes, sir. So we talked about this a little bit as internally. And it sounds like maybe there are some differing opinions. I think this one probably comes down to personal preference. So I imagine if we made this change, maybe some people would enjoy it, lots of people would not enjoy it. So it's a tricky one. I think it might be something that we could add sorting options to in the future if people wanted to custom sort. But just having it be the default might cause issues for our current player base, perhaps. So that's what I'll say about that.
Awesome. Also, I'm getting clarification that I also partially misunderstood the question, and that it's still so it would be a secondary. So LP gets first priority, and then the LPs that are not assigned heroes yet sort to the top. So I guess I partially misunderstood that. Sorry, Dags, my bad. Thanks for the clarification.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, but yeah, I think that one probably makes more sense. Say we add it to the list, and let's see what we can do.
Awesome.
Send me that list.
Yeah, will do. Yeah, I love it when the people who ask the questions are also listening, because then if I do misunderstand them, they're here to correct me, and I appreciate that about it. All right, let's see. So, next question. Was looking at the docs, came across the marketing and dev fund wallets. Are these the most updated wallets? Yes. So in the docs, all of our wallets are up to date. All of our on-chain assets will be in those wallets. We do have some off-chain assets. Obviously, they will not be in those wallets. The key there is looking under the tokens. So if you look under the Jewel token, it's going to give you the Harmony wallets because that's where Jewel was initially launched. If you look under the Crystal token, it's going to give you the DFK chain wallets. Those wallets are used for all DFK chain assets. They aren't limited to just Crystal. But that wallet list is up to date and correct. So if you look at those, you will see the summary of our on-chain holdings. Anything anybody wants to add to that? Good deal. All right. Let's see. So roadmap and timeframes. Any updated timelines on what we're prioritizing and working on, and thoughts in doing the roadmap in quarters. I will go first, but anybody's welcome to add. It is Bull on hour now, oddly, which is weird. But on the quarters side, we did make a strategic decision to stop listing timeframes on the roadmap. There's just so many variables, things that come up. Also, unannounced stuff that we're working on that's not on the roadmap that might make it look like things are farther out with nothing in between when really there are things in between. They're just not known yet. So we probably will not be going back to adding timeframes. As far as what's next, out of what's announced, onboarding stuff and expeditions would be the things that we're primarily focusing on outside of the combat system currently. Anything anybody wants to add to that? Since I'm stealing the hour here.
I'll just add that, I've always been a fan of announcing anything and everything that we can early, but we can't always do that because of the agreements we have with certain partners, stuff that's still being worked on that's not agreed upon yet. There's just a lot of things, and it's tricky in this field because a lot of people can run with information really far when they don't necessarily have the whole picture yet. So we're just always very careful and very cognizant of what we share and when we're able to share it. And there's a lot that we can't. But as soon as we can, then we're super excited to let you guys know, usually in these AMAs. So I'm really excited about the stuff we're working on too, and wish we could talk about it.
Pretty good summary. General question to everyone. What roadmap items are you working on that you're most excited about? I'll let you go in whatever order you unmute.
Nope.
You were
No,
feet
you're
up.
first.
Okay. I can't talk about it.
Me too.
Should have asked what things that you can talk about are you most excited about? Because yeah, there's a lot of exciting things we can talk about. Let's see. I don't know. Dual Season 6 is. I'm already starting to think a lot about that. I've received a lot of good ideas already from the community. It seems like everyone really liked the mode that we added for champions. I also have some cool ideas about like it's not called a scholarship program, but sort of like a delegation sort of thing that will be made easier to do with like Holiday and things like that. So, and I can't even remember what we've announced all the way yet, so I should just stop while I'm ahead.
I'll say that I am working very hard on the combat system, and I'll leave it at that. And I'm enjoying it. It's fun and lots to do.
I've been putting a lot of info in spreadsheets, and it's a lot.
But for work or for fun, Hubert?
It's both, kind of.
I love it. Magnus?
Yeah, I'll throw in the Holiday integration. They're doing some really cool stuff. Been bombing our test net, doing some stress tests to make sure it's ready for go live. So yeah, very excited about the cool stuff to come there.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm also really looking forward to Holiday. It's going to be really cool. Cool new stuff there. All right, let's see here. Next question. My Discord jumped out of place. There we go. So, here we go. Hubert, for you, when crafting is released, will it be in stages?
So I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. If they're saying, like, will crafting be complete from launch, then the answer is no. There will be stages to, like, we have waves of new items and recipes that can be crafted. But if it's like, will there be leatherworking before, like, armor smithing or something like that? We do plan to have like all of the crafting professions being supported at the beginning. So I guess I'm not quite sure which direction the question was going there, but maybe that answers both of the possible directions.
Yeah, makes sense. The rest of the question, I think, might actually have a little bit of a misunderstanding on how crafting works. So I'm going to plumb you for some alpha here. So it's been mentioned that some items will require multiple elements. Would there be different ratios and or items that take like all of the elements?
Okay. Yeah. So elements. We've said before, elements will be like a supporting thing into crafting, but it's more of like a bonus. Like each of the different crafting professions have an element that will augment your success, but it's not necessary to have the element to like be able to craft. What you do need to have is the crafting professions. So there will be, like, for example, maybe a piece of armor might need a combination of metal and leather. So there will be kind of cooperation between the different professions. And I guess something that requires cooperation from all of the professions is possible, but I think maybe unlikely. I guess we'll see, but there will be, I guess, intermediate ingredients that you need to do. Like, you might have a hide that you have to turn into a leather strip that can then be one of the ingredients into like a sword and like the leather for the pommel kind of thing. So there's definitely going to be cooperation at that level. But to say just outright that there's going to be one that combines all 8, I can't say that for certain. It's possible, but hopefully that at least kind of clarifies, I guess, how it's going to work.
Awesome. It definitely does. Much appreciated. Let's see. Beetle Dude. Can we get the bazaar added to the drop-down burger menu?
Well, boy, I'm glad you asked. I already did it. I knew it was going to happen, and I did it. And I also added the on-ramp to the drop-down menu, as well as the quick select menu. So should be accessible everywhere now.
Nice. I love it when Beetle Dude anticipates his AMA assigned tasks.
I front ran that task.
Awesome. So what is the next patch update after Bazaar? Hopefully including PvE or PvP. So I mentioned this earlier, but so we're basically running kind of 2 consecutive streams right now. One of them is combat related, one of them is not. The combat one we aren't talking too much about yet, but we will be. And on the non-combat related side, on-ramps currently, and then expeditions, or not on-ramps, sorry, onboarding currently, and then expeditions to follow that. Anybody want to add anything to that? Anything I'm forgetting? Good deal. So next question is probably a combination of a few people for thoughts, so we'll see who wants to take it. Any thoughts on adding like search buttons within the game to assist with finding ideal matches for summoning?
I'll just say there's some really good third-party tools out there that do this, which I think like ADFK is a good one. There's some others I've seen as well. Could like recommend some of those, and I think a lot of those are listed in our castle as well. And that said, like it's tricky to put things like that into ours because it kind of implies that we're officially saying like this is the correct way to do something, but in reality there's a bunch of different strategies. It depends on what you want to get out of it and what your approach is. So it's tricky to do that, but it's possible that we could even collaborate with some of those and see what we can do. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Awesome. Thank you, Fox. Thoughts on having heroes still be usable while listed for sale?
I guess I'll go on this one. Yeah, so I get the reason why we don't have that is just because you don't own the hero when you have something for a hero for sale. It does go into escrow, and that's kind of necessary because the contract needs to be able to have control of the hero to do that. If we were to add support where you could still quest or do something while it's in that case, I guess we'd have to add a lot of new logic to work around that, and there would also be a ton of edge cases that we'd have to work through, to the point where it's a pretty huge ask actually, and it also, I think that's kind of if you're going to sell a hero, you're already kind of saying goodbye to it is the idea there. So I'm not sure that we would ever support that. It's possible, but like we would have a ton of edge cases that we'd have to work through. It would take a long time, and I think it'd be better for us to spend our resources on new content rather than doing that.
Yeah, I want to agree with that. But there's all kinds of things that we could do that might make it that could like scratch the same itch. One of it could be like I've had a lot of suggestions about adding some kind of way to make offers for heroes. And if that were something that we added, then I mean, like you could still be having your heroes do like questing and things, and have other people make offers on them, and then when and if you decide that you want to sell it, then that would just be something there. We could even potentially like expand that and say you could list like here's what I would consider selling it for. Like it's not actually a thing that would happen, but like you could just add like metadata there to that, and it could be sort of a preliminary way of doing it while you still maintain control of like your heroes. So you can have them like be doing questing and dueling and things like that. So yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for the insight there. Hubert, when the roll for pet crafting bonuses occur, will there be an option to re-roll the profession bonuses?
Sure won't, Bolon.
Thank you. Let's see. With the in-game chat, do we plan on making it possible to DM people we don't know, such as for, offers on heroes? I'll say some stuff here, and then if Beetle wants to add anything as well, we would like that. Yes. That said, one of our biggest focuses with in-game chat, and one of the reasons why it's going to be a larger process, is we really are focused on the security of in-game chat, and obviously the ability to DM anyone has security risks. So we want to make sure that we get anything in the line of in-game chat. We want to make sure that it's all integrated with as much security as we can possibly put around it. So yes, we would like to have the ability to DM people that you do not know, so that you can make new friends. But we want to make sure that we have that in a way that is secure and safe for the people receiving those messages. So it just depends on what we're able to get done on that front. Beetle?
Yep, that is a great summary. So yeah, I mean, I think in-game chat, if it doesn't involve individual DMs right out of the box, then obviously we would probably want to have specific channels for the tavern or for rentals, or we can, ideally we'd be able to split them up based on what kind of activity you're doing. But yeah, to Bolan's point, we just want to make sure that everyone who goes to the website, they might not all be in Discord, so they don't get the same warnings that people get here. I just want to make sure that everybody there will also be safe when they're interacting within the site. So yeah, good moderation tools, good, I guess like auto moderation will probably be important for when we get to that point.
Thank you. Can we confirm the exact date and time until the zero fee promo from Swipeflux ends? It ends next Wednesday, which is the 23rd. I'll be honest, I don't know the exact time. I can try and get with Swipeflux to confirm the exact time, but I know it goes until next Wednesday. Let's see. All right, question on pets and future seasons of said pets. Will each season bring all new pets? Will there be some that are carried throughout seasons? What are the thoughts there?
Yeah, so it will be more of the latter. We're kind of treating it like, for those who are familiar with the hit game series of Pokemon, it'll be kind of like that, where there can be some that will carry over, there can be some that won't, but then later will show up in like the fourth season or fifth, but there'll be a mix of new and old, as will kind of be our plan as we do those. Not that a new season is coming anytime soon, though.
I've never heard of this Pokemans. Can you tell me more?
It's a hit series.
Let's see. Uh, Beetle Dude, thoughts on having a multi-queue for hero bridging?
I love that thought. I'm putting it on the list.
Y'all should see this list. It's unbelievable.
Bolan's collecting it for me. Thanks, Bolan.
That is true. Let's see. Hubert, will endurance play a role in crafting?
So endurance is one of the bonus stats for a couple of the crafting professions. I'm trying to remember which. I'd have to go look up which two they are, but it does play a role for those two. But beyond that, there won't be. Currently, not planning on any other additional mechanics with the stats, other than there will be 2 stats per crafting profession that apply to the success of that. So. Yeah, so nothing beyond that is currently planned.
Cool.
Oh,
Thank you.
there's a lovely list right there. Thank you
Yep.
for that.
Azoth was on it. He had it ready to go. Let's see. Fox, Duel's thoughts. Which first off, I said this to you, but I want to say it here publicly. The feedback on champion mode has been very, very positive. There's been a lot of excitement about that. So kudos for champion mode this season. Thoughts for future seasons? Question is, what would you think about having solo duels that are limited to a specific class at a time?
Yeah, thanks. I was excited about the mode for champions. Spent a lot of time thinking about that over the past few seasons, actually. So I'm happy I was able to get it into this one. The mode for solos that are just certain classes. I mean, it sounds similar to like tournament ideas I've heard, but this one sounds like more of a long-standing, like having a lobby for each class perhaps, and seeing like who has the best archer or who has the best ninja, which is interesting. I think it's possible. There are a lot of classes, so we'd have to figure out what's the best way to display that. We'd also have to figure out like, will there be rewards, and if so, what would those be? So I'll add it to the list. There's like 4 or 5 really cool ideas that I've heard that are things that we might look at doing in future seasons. So I'll add that to the list so we can get some feedback on it internally.
Nice. Yeah, duels is always fun because we get the opportunity to do something new every 2 months ish. Let's see. So, thoughts on building for players to have thousands of heroes, or will there be gameplay mechanics to help trim those numbers down? Hubert, that's probably you.
Yeah, I've answered questions kind of similar to this before. So yeah, we are keeping in mind how many heroes people have and how many exist with our new features that we're doing. With that said, there are also planned features that will be more of a fewer amounts of heroes at a time experience. Like our current combat engine is a 3-hero experience. We have discussed different ways of adding new burn mechanics for heroes as well, and are still in the process of talking through and working out some of those ideas. But yeah, so it's going to be kind of a mixture of both. If there were to be kind of additional changes, it's like more specific to like changing the rate at which heroes get created. That's kind of a different topic, but one we've talked about a lot, and that one is just one where we would need more support for that. I think there's another question that will kind of lead into that, so I'll leave that there for now.
There is, and we're going to hit it right now. So, on that topic, obviously, there's been a lot of conversation about summoning and various, ways that it could change, could improve, could stay the same, et cetera, et cetera. But one idea that came up that was dropped in as an AMA question, and it's one that I don't think we've spoke about before, is implementing a system in summoning similar to the vendor dynamic pricing. So rather than just like flat rate changing the summoning price, having it as a always dynamic system. So thoughts on that? I know you already touched on, it needing to come from the community, and I think feel free to touch on that again, but curious of your thoughts as well.
Yeah, so that is an interesting idea. I think as far as like complexity goes, it's not too bad since we already have a proof of concept with the vendor, but there is, it would have to be something that we would work out. So I think with this and with just anything to do with like other solutions that have been suggested, either adjusting summoning cooldowns, adjusting the cost of summoning. For any of those things, we do need to have community support and to have a community vote for those. And we're not inclined to put in a lot of hours of work in possible changes if there's not community support behind it to begin with. So as I've kind of said in multiple AMAs, we do, if this is something that really the large majority of the community does want, we need to see that there is that degree of support, and then we would do another RFC to confirm that, and then from that point we would then start looking at options and devoting some of our work hours to actually like coming up with options. So I do think this dynamic one is something that we could include as an option if we were to get support for that. But yeah, I guess kind of sounding like a broken record, but it's just for us to do more, we need support. Otherwise, it's gonna be, we'll just be like, sounds like a cool idea, and give you a thumbs up and a smile. So yeah, I think that's all I'll say on that topic.
Awesome. For the record, thumbs up and a smile from Hubert has a lot of value, though, so yeah, it's pretty worth it. All right. What came of the Clayton proposal you put together? It has moved from the review and commentary period. It did get endorsed, and so it is now going to governance vote. It has been posted as a vote, but the voting has not opened yet. The voting opens next Monday, the 21st, and then runs for a week through the 28th. So it was endorsed during the review period, and it has now moved to the next step, and then we will see from there. Anything anybody wants to add to that? Good deal. Let's see. One last question that slid in. Any considerations of fireworks and balloons on the map to display year 2 celebrations and maybe a different song? Beetle Dude, thoughts? Or anybody else, I guess, really.
Wait, repeat that question. I was shit posting. So.
Typical. Just kidding. Typical's in the audience, not on stage. Fireworks and balloons on the map for 2 years, for our 2-year birthday, and maybe a different world song.
Oh, they're suggesting this? How long do they think a song takes to make? Damn, good on you. Yeah, I think we've got some plans, definitely. If we had commissioned Sam to do a new song, that would have been pretty cool because he makes amazing stuff. People might miss the current one because it's also great. But yeah, we do have some birthday plans. Some of that will be on the map as we've come to expect, and then some newer things. So we're hoping it'll be an exciting second anniversary celebration.
Nice. Yeah, now I want to hear a Sam DFK birthday song. Anyway, but yeah, definitely got some plans for that. Awesome. Well, we have been incredibly efficient today, and we have actually taken care of all of our current questions. So we are going to give the next 60 seconds for anybody to submit any questions that they want us to take right now, and then otherwise we will be wrapping up for the day. Do 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 do. Let's see. A few things have rolled in. Why do I smell like cheese? Why do you know what I smell like? Is the real question. Updates on the Clayton proposal. We just touched on that. It has moved from the review period. It got endorsed. It is now going to a vote. The vote opens next Monday and then runs for a week. So 21st through 28th. Anniversary date is Tuesday, the 22nd of August. When Scholar, there was a teaser on Twitter for Scholar, and more to come. Second Best Dad wants to know who's the most handsome team member and why is it him? I think he answered his own question there. All right, well, I think that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Let's see, from me, don't ape into broken mechanics. Thank you everybody who submits questions, takes the time out of their day to listen to the AMA, as well as those of the team who come and answer all of these questions for us. Appreciate all of you and looking forward to next week. Let's see, Magnus, you haven't talked much again this week. Any closing statements?
Nope, I don't have too much. Just stoked about everything that everybody on the team is working on, but can't talk about.
Let's see. Hubert, final thoughts?
Yeah, there's things and stuff, and we'll talk about it at some point. No, I am also excited for these things that we're alluding to. There's been a lot of work going on in the background for quite a while, and we're getting things are really starting to come together. So it's getting more and more exciting as each day goes by. So excited for when we do finally get to talk about that, and I think everyone here will be happy about that as well. So looking forward to it.
Beetle Dude?
Yes. Yeah, I'll probably sound like a broken record with everybody else, but just plugging away on some really exciting stuff that we're stoked about, and yeah, I'll just say that I'm mostly excited because we're laying the groundwork for a lot of stuff that will come in the future. So it's exciting times. I wish I could share more.
Indeed they are. And last but certainly not least, the friskiest of foxes, and I figured given that we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary as our founder, you'd be a good option to bullish us today.
Sweet, yeah. In our Slack channels, we have a channel called it's called Kudos, where we sort of like share anytime somebody does something that we really appreciated or that we want to call out, we just sort of like share it there. So kudos. I just want to say it here to our team. We've got really amazing individuals and they're working hard, and I'm just really thankful for them. But also kudos to you guys here. And all the people that are building, that are creating videos, that are at the events, like all that energy, we can feel it, and it really is what drives us. I'm stoked that it's been 2 years, and I haven't had a heart attack yet from all the craziness going on here in this space, but it's a wild ride, and it's fun to be here with all of the amazing people that are here as well. And I am excited for the future, for the things we're building for this next year. There's just a lot of really cool things. Seems like every year our scope just sort of like widens, and there's so much more out there, and that's kind of the story of crypto in general. Like the more that gets done there, it's like synergy. You just get more and more things that start to happen, and there's catalysts, and I think there's a really bright future for all of like the blockchain space, and so I'm excited to be here in this field. And I guess with that, I'll just say that I'm super feeling amazingly, incredibly bullish about the future. So thank you everyone for coming.
Bullish.
Bullish.
Bullish.